Yeah, good day, viewers. You welcome back. You welcome back today on Agro Optimizer, and today we are here to actually impart the farmer again. We are here to discuss an issue or a matter of importance in agricultural productivity. That is, productivity of our farmers and profitability of their farming. I remain Stephen Popola, the team lead and the founder at Agro Optimizer. At Agro Optimizer, what we do basically is helping farmers with knowledge, with resources, with materials, with technology, and with our expertise to improve on their productivity and profit, and also help them in in getting the best of what they do. And this morning, it's morning here over here. We are discussing an issue of importance, as I've actually said, which has to do with soil productivity and soil sustainable soil management and productivity. That is, how can you get the best from your soil? How can you get the best from your soil? How can you actually use soil health management to improve your productivity? And this morning, this moment on this show with me is is a scientist, a soil scientist, an expert at what he does, and he's actually been imparting a whole lot in the agricultural space, in the farming space, with the knowledge and research results and working knowledge, as I would call it, working knowledge. And in no time, I will actually be inviting him on board. And please, whatever question you have, you can drop in the comment section, because today we've got loads of questions to actually ask our guests. We've got loads of questions to ask our guests, and those questions will be those questions will actually be our guide, our compass to learn today. And your questions, as they come up, you are surely going to receive answers to them. Answers to them. Um, Trying to bring our expert on board today. Our experts on board. It's been waiting, but I want you to know a brief about him before we actually bring him on board. We bring him on board. We are going to be bringing him on board now. So yeah, he's here already. A brief about him for you to know who we've got on board today on this great discussion. Good. Yeah, the person we're bringing on board today, just as you've seen, his name is Ishola Oluwashino, Mr. Ishola Oluwashino. Mr. Ishola Oluwashino is a soil scientist, just as I have told you. He's a soil scientist, and he's also a lecturer at Federal College of Forestry, Jericho, Ibadan, Oyo State. So you can see he's really on the field. His research work actually focuses on soil, just as I told you, not just somebody from agriculture, not just somebody from agriculture to come and discuss soil. Somebody from the soil department, somebody from the soil field. Let me just put it that way. Somebody from the soil field. That is his area of expertise in soil loss, erosion, and soil conservation. And he has actually published over 20 reviewed articles in top tier scientific journals in the world. Yeah, he's got his BTech in crop soil pest management. He's got his masters in agronomy, still specializing in soil science from the University of Ibadan. And his PhD, which is actually in view, is on soil physics and conservation. Soil physics and conservation at Ladoke Akintola University of Technology. So join me as I welcome on board this morning Mr. Ishola Oluwashina. Mr. Ishola Oluwashina, you are welcome. You are welcome. You are
Yes, sir.
welcome, sir. Hello, sir. You are welcome.
Yeah,
And I'm
good
very
day.
sure,
Uh,
and I'm very sure our viewers, our farmers are watching us right now. Are really happy to know you are you are on board with us today to discuss with us. Kindly, you are free to introduce. I have introduced yourself. Probably you have few things to say to still tell them about yourself, or you got something to tell them. Please, you are free. You are free to do that now before we go into the questions we've got for you today. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much to our viewers and everyone listening at home. Thank you so much for having me on the show this time. We can go on with the program of today.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. You're welcome once again. Sir, we have actually bring you on board because there is this saying that soil health translates into plant health, and plant health translates into human health. And that means once the health is actually balanced on those phases, then the general global health will be balanced. That is, everything starts from the soil. Everything starts from the soil. And we've been looking at how to actually make our globe, that is the world, a food secure globe, despite the whole lot of crisis on food in various countries, and farmers have really been trying to meet up. Or nevertheless, rather than producing more in some places, the opposite is what is being achieved by farmer. Rather than them getting more, they get less. And one of those important tools available, or one of those important resources available for farmers to actually produce, is the soil. So we are looking at how to enhance the power of the soil, because everything actually starts from there, the power of the soil to actually produce. Are there things farmers are actually doing wrong? Some farmers are doing wrong, which they should learn today and start doing it right. Are there ways to actually change the way we have actually been producing? Because it is believed that if we are going to see a change in results, then we must actually have a change in approach. And that is why we've got you on board today. So straight to the first question we've got today, sir, is that what are the key indicators of healthy soil, and how can farmer assess the health of their soil? Because a healthy soil is what we give is what we give a healthy production, or a healthy result. When the soil is sick, just as we know, humans, once you are sick, you cannot give your best. So for the soil to actually give its best, it has to be at its best or better position. So now the question comes: what are the key indicators of healthy soil, and how can farmers assess the health of their soil? Sir?
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Uh, the key indicators of a healthy soil. Number one is that the organic matter content of the soil is very, very important in the soil. Now, we even call organic matter or organic carbon as the life wire of the soil, as art. In fact, when I'm in the class, when I'm teaching the students, I always tell them that the organic carbon or organic matter is the art of the soil. Now, before, when a woman is pregnant, the first thing they first discover is the art. Maybe after 6 weeks or 7 weeks of a pregnancy. Now, and by the time somebody dies again, what is the first thing they check? Is the heart. Now, as small as the heart is, now it is very, very important in a human being. So as it but there's um, a lot of indigenous knowledge when it comes to the organic matter when it is dark. Now, one of it is that it may be as a result of the soil is being burnt. It may be as a result
Hello,
of
hello,
a lot of sodium in the
hello,
soil.
sir.
And,
Hello, sir.
yes, I can you still hear me?
We
Yes, I can
lost
hear
you
you,
in
sir.
some part. We lost you in some part where you are
Wow.
trying to tell us about trying to relate to us about the earth of human being. Like when someone is healthy,
Okay.
when someone dies, then they will still talk about the earth. That is where we lost you,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. Now,
Could you please help
what
us
I
do
was trying
that?
to say is that
Okay.
when a first thing that first form, can you still hear me?
Yeah, we can
Or we
hear you,
just
sir.
now the first thing that form when a woman is pregnant is the what? Is the heart. Now, after 6 or 7 weeks of a pregnancy, and they go for test. Hello, can you still hear me, sir?
We lost you. We lost you. Hello, sir.
Wow. Okay. Uh,
Is it the
just
network again?
1 minute.
Or
Yeah,
you
I think the
you
rain is still falling,
oh,
but maybe let me change my network to Airtel. Just
okay.
to,
Okay, sir.
hmm? What's he using?
All right, sir. Mr. Ishola, going to the first question, which we've asked already, says, what are the key indicators of health of healthy soil, and how can farmers assess the health of their soil? Yes, sir. We want to hear you, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. The first one is the organic matter content in the soil. Is a key indicator when it comes to health, the soil health. Now, when we talk about organic matter content, a higher percentage of organic matter improves the nutrient retention and soil structure. Now, when I'm in the class, when I'm even teaching, what I tell the students is that when a woman is pregnant, the first thing that forms in the woman is the heart. When they go for scan, go for test at 6 weeks after pregnancy. Now, and when a woman being dies, the first thing they check is to before they certify the person dead is the heart also. Now, I now tell them in the class that the organic matter of organic carbon is the life wire or the heartbeat or the heart of soil. Now, what do I mean by that is that if there's no organic carbon or organic matter in the soil, that soil cannot perform incredibly well. So that is the reason why organic matter content is very important when it comes to the indicator of a soil health. And then secondly, we have the soil pH. Now that is to tell you the alkalinity and the acidity and the neutrality of the soil. And another one we have is the nutrient levels. Nutrient level, the balance level of the essential nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, micronutrients, they are crucial when it comes to the soil health because this is what the plants will take up. And then whatsoever that is in the soil is what the plant will take. And in which at the end of the day, we harvest it and we eat it, and then we have the repercussion if it is not good. Another one is the microbial activities. We have the uraphase and some other microbial activities in the soil. They are also an indicators when it comes to soil health. Another one is moisture retention. How can that soil retain moisture? How can it drain it? That is the reason why we tell anybody that wants to plant or wants to do anything that they should make use of a well drained soil. They should make use of a
Okay.
well-drained soil. I hope I'm still, yes. They
Yes,
should make use of a
we are
well-drained
enjoying
soil.
you, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. And then we should check for the compaction level of the soil. That is when you
Wow.
do bulk density, and then the structure of the soil. So those are the indicators that you can check for you to know the health of the soil. Now, what are the methods in which the farmers can use in assessing their soil health? Now, the first thing I always advise farmers to do is to do soil testing. Now, when you conduct a laboratory test, check the what we call routine analysis, starting from pH, organic carbon, organic matter, the total nitrogen available, phosphorus, cations, and then the micronutrients. When you check for that, you'll be able to know. And then we have the physical aspect, which is the textural class. You know the textural class of the soil. Because in a situation where you have a clay soil, we have a recommendation of the kind of plants you can grow there. So, and another one is that we have what you call indigenous knowledge for you to be able to assess your farm. Now, that indigenous knowledge is what our forefathers have been using before. Now, what do we mean by indigenous knowledge? Is for us to know the assessment, visual soil assessment. Now, how do we get that? Is that you check the color for the color of the soil. Now, when you see that the soil is dark a little bit, you know that there is presence of organic matter. But most of the time, I always tell people that a soil can be dark and may not be a good assessment for the soil health. Because of what? There may be an abrasion in the soil. There may be that there's a lot of sodium present in the soil. There may be as a result of oil spillage that make that soil to be dark. And then anaerobic respiration can also cause the soil to dark. And another way of assessing it now is by crop performance. Now, in a situation whereby you see that the younger leaves of a plant eh, is forming a form of yellowish coloration, we know that that is chlorosis. That is, it means that that plant is lacking what? Nitrogen in the soil. As a result of phosphorus also, you see a purplish coloration and then a stunted plant. And then for potassium, you see intervenial chlorosis. And then for magnesium, you see a clear intervenial chlorosis. And apart from that, we can use weed to assess a soil health. How? The moment you see Chromonaria odorata, the one that Yoruba calls Akintola, you know that that soil is a fertile soil. Or Imperator cylindrica, and so on, like Tridraps procumbens. You know that those are the indicators of fertility. And then you can even use earthworm count to check like that. So there are a lot of assessments that our farmers can use in order to know the health of the soil.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Guys, I told you, I said we actually brought an expert on board, and even the experts learn from more experts. Honestly, I've really learned so much. And there are even some doubts which you have even cleared, because I've seen farmers trying to put indigenous knowledge of soil fertility over some other precise way. And thank you for actually making us know that it cannot be precise, and there are cases that can actually make us even judge the soil wrong. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Now
Yeah.
to the next question. It says, can you share some effective sustainable practices that farmers can implement to improve soil health? Like you've told us, the first thing is to actually know how healthy our soil is, to know about the fertility of our soil, the soil structure, getting to know if our soil is actually okay, living well. Then now, once we actually observe that and we get to see that there is an abnormality, or maybe our soil health is not up to level or whatsoever. Now, what can we do? Can you please share some effective sustainable practices that farmer can implement to improve soil health? And one thing I will also I want to note there to farmers hearing this question now: sustainable practices. We are not just talking about practices, general practices, but sustainable one, the ones that will help you add more productivity, that will help you add more value to your work, and you are not destroying the health, you are not destroying the world, because we have a lot of practices causing pollution and a whole lot of dangers to human health and even to the global to the health, to the soil health. Now, how can you best, the best way, the best practices that farmer can implement to improve soil health without destroying the environment? Oh, so sir, we can you help us with those effective sustainable practices our farmers can engage in?
Yeah, thank you so much again for having me. Now, the first one I always advise people when it comes to this kind of question, and I tell farmers, is that for you to be able to sustain your your farm, number one thing is that practice what we call organic amendments. Now, how do we use organic amendments? Now, by adding compost, you can make compost yourself. By adding manure. Now, when it comes to organic manure or organic fertilizer, we have like 3 or 4 different organic fertilizers. Number one is that we have the compost, we have the poultry manure, and then we have the green manuring. Now, when it comes to that, adding compost, adding manure, and other organic materials to the soil is it has a lot of benefit in the soil, because it's going to increase the organic matter and improve the nutrient availability and enhance the microbial activities in the soil. Another one, hello, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Okay, thank you. Now, another one is that we should practice what we call cover cropping. Now, when you plant cover crops, to protect, you are using it to protect your soil from erosion or from environmental problems. Now, what are the benefits you are going to get from it? It will reduce erosion, it will improve the soil structure, and then it will also increase organic matter, because by the time they decompose this, now they increase the organic matter in the soil, and more or less that they suppress weeds when you do cover cropping. Another one is crop rotation. Now, over time, there are a lot of benefits in it also, because number one, it will break the pest and disease cycles. Number two is that it's going to improve the nutrient balance and enhance the soil biodiversity. So there are a lot of benefits when it comes to like that. And another thing I advise people to do is that reduce tillage practices. Now, I know that tractors, by the time you put tractors on the field, it is like 5,000 kilogram. Now, when you allow your tractor to come in for the first time to come and do first plowing, 5,000 comes in. By the time you come in after 2 weeks again, 5,000 kg comes in again. You are compacting the soil and you are allowing the soil to be loose, so that when there's environmental problem, they get eroded. So we have to reduce tillage in order to prevent our what? Soil structure and reduce erosion. And then to enhance moisture retention. Another one is agroforestry. When it comes to agroforestry, is by planting trees, shrubs. You can make it as an hedge rows in the field. You can even dot it in between the field, so that when there is wind, there won't be erosion. Now, another one is mulching. Most of the time when we harvest on the field, we carry all these things home. By the time we take it home, it does not have any usefulness at all, but it is very useful on the field, because by the time they decompose this, they become a manure to the soil. And apart from that, they improve the soil temperature. They also suppress the weed. So another one I always advise people is integrated pest management. What we mean by that is that you are combining both biological, cultural, and then the chemical practices together in order to manage the pest on the field. For instance, now you should know that if you plant maize this year, by the time you are planting another thing next year, it will not be maize. It can be another plant. So these are little, and then little one. Intercropping is also part of it. Intercropping is also part of it. So these are the little one I can advise farmer when it comes to effective sustainable practices that they can use in order to implement or to improve the soil health.
Thank you so much, Da. You call it little. This is not little. In this time space, you've given us about nine sustainable practices farmer can actually engage themselves in. That is to tell people I'm also taking my notes. I'm also, as you can see, I'm also taking my notes. You mentioned adding of compost, and you're not just mentioning them, you're telling us the advantages, the benefits of each of these practices. You mentioned compost, you adding compost, you mentioned adding manure, you mentioned plant we plant cover crop. That is and another one, rotation, that is crop rotation,
Yes,
integrated
sir.
pest management,
Mm.
reduction in tillage practices, agroforestry,
Yeah,
intercropping, and you even mentioned mulching. That is about nine
yeah.
to go with. Wow, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Farmers, I
You're
told you, I
welcome.
said this program, you're going to really enjoy it because it's really going to be impactful. We've brought an expert to speak to you, and an expert that is actually willing to share the knowledge that is going to benefit you. Thank you so much, sir. Now going to the next question, sir. It says, how important, because I could remember, I can remember you've actually been emphasizing the importance of organic matter in the soil, even right from the first question and even the second question, some of the practices not destroying the organic matter and even adding more organic matter to the soil. Now to the next question. It says how important is organic matter in maintaining soil health, and what are the best way to increase it in agricultural soil? How important is organic matter in maintaining soil health, and what are the best way to increase it in agricultural soil? Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. When it comes to organic matter, in the importance of organic matter in soil health, number one is that as I've rightly said, that they supply nutrients, the life wire of the soil. Now, is even a reservoir for the soil. So organic matter acts as a reservoir for nutrients, and then they release them. If it is in an organic manure, they release it slowly. But in a situation whereby you are using inorganic manure and inorganic fertilizer, that one is fast. So they release them slowly for plant uptake. And then another importance of organic matter is that they help to improve the soil structure. That soil structure is very, very important because they promote the aggregation of the soil, which enhances aeration and water infiltration. Another one is moisture retention, because organic matter will help in retaining moisture for the plants to use, so that you can reduce what we call irrigation. Now, another one is that they helps in the controlling erosion. It helps in controlling erosion because they bind the soils together, the soil particles. When we talk about the soil particles, we are talking about sand, silt, and clay. So when they bind them together, they will not allow. It's more like we could even call them a cementing agent, whereby they bind the soils together, the soil particles together. So when there's erosion, soil organic matter, so far they have cemented them, they will not allow the soil to be eroded. So
All right.
those are the importance. But what are the ways in which it can be improved, increase, that the increase organic matter in the soil, most especially in Nigeria? Now, I say now it still boils down on what I said in the second question, that increase the rate of doing cover cropping. By the time you do cover cropping, number one thing is that when they decomposes, they become manure, and then you are increasing the organic matter in the soil. Number two again is composting. Composting. Now, applying compost made from organic waste enriches the soil with decomposed organic matter and nutrients. Another one is crop residue management. For instance, now you harvested your maize on the field. Now, when you take it to the house, the one that you are pulling out of the maize you want to eat is wasted. You go and dump it at the dustbin, the husk. Now, but when you bring it back to the field, they decomposes and increase the organic matter in the soil. Now, you can add manure like your poultry dung, your cow dung, horse dung, and some other dungs can also be added. Now, agroforestry is also important. Now, when the leaves of these trees, when they drop on the soil, they decomposes and increase the organic matter of the soil also. So it's also very important. And then intercropping. When you intercrop also, by the time you are intercropping, for instance now, leguminous crop, they fix atmospheric nitrogen. And then by the time they decomposes also on the field, when you have harvested, they increase the organic matter in the soil. And then green manuring. You know, I tell people when they are doing green manuring, we don't usually practice it in Nigeria. And it is very, very, very important. Now, how do we do green manuring? For instance, now you can get seed of mukuna. Mukuna, the Yoruba call it werikwe. You get it, the seed of mukuna, you plant it. It's a leguminous crop. Now, if you cannot plant your maize, because what happens to green manuring is that by the time you have planted it and it is flowering, that is when you incorporate it back into the soil. It serves as a manure. But how many of our farmers can wait when it has started flowering, that you are expecting that it will start fruiting, that for you to remove the fruit and make it as a source of income or for feeding? How many of our farmers can wait for that? Now, so by the time it is flowering, the next thing you do is that you incorporate it into the soil. That is what we call green manuring. But if you cannot do like that, you can get mukuna. Mukuna, by the time it starts flowering, is a leguminous crop that is doing well. You incorporate it back into the soil, and then you have practiced what we call green manuring in order to increase the organic matter of the soil, to boost the organic matter of the soil. So those are the soil amendments, and then in which you can use in order to increase the organic matter of the soil. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ishola. Mr. Ishola, for me, yeah, it's great. Honestly, I'm really learning, and I know that is the same way. People and farmers listening to us, watching us, are also learning big time, big time, big time from this. I think you saw me smiling while the answer to the question
Oh,
was on, like when you
yes,
mentioned
now under the
when you
green manuring.
mentioned when you mentioned green manuring, when you actually mentioned green manuring,
Yeah.
when you mentioned this mukuna, the first part when you mentioned this mukuna, I think it's still the same thing as mukuna utilis, right? This
Yes, you're
plant,
right.
which we Yoruba speaking people in Nigeria, some other tribes also have their own way of calling it. Call it werekwe. I remember what
Yes.
werekwe has actually done to me on the field. It's this some people call it devil's bean. If it touches
Yes.
you, the dry if it
The
touches
drive
you,
one.
oh, you are going to pull off your clothes. You are going to
Yes,
pull off your clothes.
definitely.
And yeah, the people are always saying it, like farmers in the rurals always say that wherever you actually find that plant, it's also a sign that the land there
It's
is
part-time.
fertile, and I
Yes, sir.
want to believe so. And the green manuring, that green manuring part is one part which we in this part of the world have not really been seeing
We've not been really been practicing it.
in agriculture, the part of the world doing well in farming, they do green manuring. And that was what I was telling people, that even if you are going to plant a crop for the next season, your preparation for that crop for the next season starts from this season. Possibly, if you are going to
Mm.
plant maybe maize next year on your field, you can start preparing the field maybe from this year. And that is also part of it, like the planting of cover cropping, just such as maybe that mukuna or some other crops. Then you incorporate back. You don't harvest that crop. You incorporate back. You till it into the soil. So that it decays and add nutrient to the soil. I've actually seen places where they that is not here in Nigeria, actually in some other country. I think, yeah, I went to a place in Ghana, and they actually planted soya bean. It fruits, and we got to the fruiting level and everything. And instead of them harvesting it, taking it down to the market, they just incorporated it into the soil. They full this thing because they want to actually plant maize the coming year. Wow, that is also an added advantage. And we can even harvest it. When you're talking about the crop residue management, we harvest,
Mm.
we leave the crop residue on our farm and let it decay
Yeah.
on the farm, such
Mm.
as it
Not,
adds, is not, we don't just take everything away from the farm and not give to the soil. We give to the soil to actually
yeah.
receive, not we just packing the
Yeah.
whole lot home, and it's just wasting, because those residues are not going to be used. You just at the end of the day we end up burning them. That is just a waste. We have to look into. Wow, thank you so much, sir, for this sustainable practices you have actually given to us in maintaining and boosting our organic content. Thank you so much. Now to the next question. It says, how does crop rotation contribute to, yeah, you've mentioned it, but how does crop rotation contribute to soil health? And what are some recommended rotation practices for different crops?
Okay.
How does crop
Uh,
rotation contribute to soil health? Yes, sir.
okay. Thank you. Now, it's more or less like asking for the benefit of crop rotation for the soil health. Now, number one
Yes,
is
sir.
that
Yes, sir.
nutrient management. It helps in nutrient management. We have different crops having varying nutrient needs, and then varying uptake of nutrient patterns in order to help to balance the soil nutrients. So nutrient management, crop rotation, but one of the benefits of crop rotation is nutrient management. And then secondly, for pest and disease control, by the time you are rotating your crops, it destroys the life cycle of pests and diseases. And then it also reduces their prevalence and minimizing chemical pesticide use. Now, what do I, when I'm in class, when I'm teaching, I always talk about the principles of crop rotation. That says that let me use this opportunity to quickly brush in some of our farmers and knowledge again. Now, for instance, now when you are planting a shallow rooted crops this year, by the time you are planting after the cycle of that first year, you are not supposed to plant a shallow rooted crop again. Now, a deep rooted crop should not follow a deep rooted crop. A shallow rooted crop should not follow a shallow rooted crop. So, in which what we are trying to say is that if there's nutrient down in the subsoil, now you are supposed to plant a deep rooted crop so that the deep rooted crop will bring it up into the subsoil, into the surface of the soil. Now, a shallow rooted crop, by the time you are planting it the next season, it will you make use of that crop and then that nutrient that is already on the topsoil. So that is the reason why is crop rotation is very, very important. Another one is soil structure improvements, because very true structure improves the soil aeration and aggregation. And then when you are talking about anything in soil structure is very, very important, because they enhance overall soil structure also. And then they help in weed suppression. They help in weed suppression, and then they help in organic matter enhancement, because by the time they decompose, now they increase the organic matter through their root biomass. And then you know that for instance now the leguminous crops, they even help in nitrogen fixation. So they are very important also. Now, what are the recommended crop rotation practices in Nigeria? Now, I'm basically talking about Nigeria because I'm in Nigeria, but more or less like I can still talk globally. Now, for instance, number one is that legume to series rotation. You know, when I was talking about the principles of crop rotation, I talked about the root rooted
Yes,
should
sir.
not follow deep rooted. Shallow rooted should not follow shallow rooted. So now, for instance, now we can do what we call legume to cereal rotation. For instance, now soya bean, you can first plant soya bean or cowpea. Later, now you can now plant maize or sorghum. So you have incorporated legumes, and then another time you are incorporating cereal as a rotation. Another one is root and tuber rotation. Root and tuber rotation, for instance, if you are planting cassava or yam, so you can follow by maize, and then another one is vegetable rotation, whereby you are planting tomatoes or pepper, so you can follow by legumes like groundnut, like cowpea. So what are the benefits of this thing? Number one is going to improve the nutrient cycling. It's going to improve the nutrient cycling. Now another one is oil sealed and cereal rotation, whereby you are planting groundnut and then you followed by rice or millet. So it's going to add organic matter, increase the organic matter of the soil, and then the nitrogen will also be increased, and then there will be improvement in the soil fertility. And then we have diverse crop rotation that we can alternate to each other. And then the green manure cropping, when you, by for instance now planting of cover crops like mukuna, before you plant any other crop, will also improve the soil fertility and prevent erosion. In fact, honestly, most of the time when I'm talking about erosion, erosion is one of the enemies of the soil. It's a serious issue that it needs to be prevented. So those are the recommended crop rotations I can still remember for now.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. You've been giving us, just like some people will say, bumper to bumper. Like you
Mm,
loading us with benefits. You loading us with benefits. Honestly, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. We cannot thank you enough. Thank you so much. And now going to the next question, because I think you ended this last question, the last question, just concluded answer in the just concluded answer you gave us. You ended it telling us the importance of actually getting to reduce or manage soil erosion. You said is a very big enemy that needs to be like that needs to be targeted and actually maybe I don't know eliminated. Yeah, eliminated or
mm,
terminated. I remember the movie Terminator. Now,
mhm.
before it terminates our productivity, we get to terminate it. Now, that take us to the next question, and it's on soil erosion. So, what are the main
Okay.
causes of soil erosion? Because if you don't know the causes of a thing, then you cannot actually know how to address it. What are the main causes
Yes.
of soil erosion, and what conservation techniques can be employed to prevent it, sir?
Okay. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. And let me first define what an erosion is. Soil erosion. When it comes to soil erosion, I define it in class. I said is the depletion and detachment of soil particles. When we talk about the soil particles, we'll be talking about the sand, silt, and clay. Now, after it has detached them, the next thing is that it transports it through the influence of precipitation. And when we talk about precipitation, rainfall is a form of precipitation. Air is a form of precipitation. Fog is a form of precipitation. Mist is a form of precipitation. Now, it's being transported down from the higher elevation to the lower elevation. Now, so when you have the understanding of what erosion is, now what is the main cause of this soil erosion? Number one is water erosion. You cannot run away from this water precipitation. Now, water erosion now is as a result of the torrential rainfall in which we have in the tropical rainforest. And that is the reason why our organic layer in the tropical rainforest is between 0 to 15 centimeters. But in the temperate region, now is between 0 to 1 meter. Can you see the difference between the organic layers?
Hmm.
So in the tropical
Hmm.
region, that is the reason why when we are sampling our soil, we say that let's go and sample from region of the 0 to 15 centimeter. And then in the
Hmm.
temperate region, they sample from 0 to 1 meter. So look at how deep the organic matter is in their soil compared to our own soil. And the result is as a result of the torrential rainfall we have, heavy rainfall we have in the tropical environment. So water erosion is one of the main causes of soil erosion. Another one is wind erosion. For instance, in the dry condition, wind can easily erode dry and bare soils, particularly in the arid and semi-arid regions. If you go towards the north, if you look at the depth of water we have in the southwest, let me use Nigeria as an example. Now, if you are growing anything in the north, they will tell you that they have like 4 or 5 months of rainfall. Now, they will tell you it's between 600 to 800 mm. Now, when you come to the southwest here, they will tell you that we have 1,200 mm. Now, when you are going towards south and southeast, they have up to like 2,000, 2,500 mm. And no wonder that the governor came out one year like that after building bridge in his state, he now said somebody has gone to cause a rain to fall and remove all the bridge. It's as a result that they have not studied the soil in that area very well. And that is the reason why the erosion is taking away the bridge. So when the erosion, water erosion is one of the main causes of it. And then deforestation. Deforestation is a serious issue, whereby most of the time when we want to clear our land for planting, we have what we call selective forest thinning. It's different from clear felling of trees. When some people want to do planting, what they do is that they clear the whole land, and you now leave your land without being protected. There's no how when there's environmental problem, it will get eroded. It's not good to deforest we call selective foresting, whereby you remove some trees, leave some trees, remove some trees, leave some trees. Now another one is overgrazing. For instance, now when they carry their livestock, they put them, they allow them to graze on that land to the extent that nothing will protect the soil. And when there's more moisture, precipitation, they get eroded. Now, poor agricultural practices also is a problem. For instance, like tillage practices. I told you, for those of us that are using mechanization, mechanized like tractor. Now 5,000 is the weight of tractor. It comes in for first plowing. After 2 weeks, it comes in again for another plowing, second plowing. Again, it comes in again for harrowing. Again, it comes in again for tillage, for tilling the soil. After that again, you bring it again to come and plant. After that again, you bring it again to come and do fertilizer application, and as well as spraying of herbicide on the field. Now, so look at 5,000 at the same time, kilogram of soil, kilogram of tractor that is coming to the field. Look at the effect it's going to have on the field. So, and then urbanization is another problem, whereby we are using the land we are supposed to use for growing crops, we are using it to do construction. So these are the problems. So, and then if you are now talking about the conservative techniques to prevent the soil from being eroded, number one thing is that you can do what we call agroforestry. Agroforestry, whereby you the practice is that integrating trees and shrubs into agricultural system, and then that one will reduce wind speed, and then it will protect the soil from erosion. Agroforestry is very, very important. Now, another one is cover cropping, in which I've explained a lot of things about cover cropping. Now, mulching, in which I've also explained about mulching also. Now, soil conservation structure, like building barriers like checks, dams, slit fences. Now, that one will slow the flow of water, and then it will not allow our soil to get eroded. Now, when we talk about crop rotation, reduce tillage practices, and then we need to educate our farmers. A lot of education has to come in so that they will get awareness and participation in conservation efforts. Some people, they are just doing some things, they don't know the implication of it. So those are the little I can say for now. Maybe in the course of the program, if I still remember, I will continue.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Really appreciate that so much. You've actually said so much, and even we talking about we increasing effort. Every stakeholder actually putting in efforts to educate the let me say the front fighter, or let me say the food soldiers, which are the farmers in food production. We educating them, and that is one of the reasons why we're bringing up such program like this, then to like bring those with knowledge, like tested and proven knowledge, to actually impart to those that are actually going to make use of the knowledge in production for us. Thank you for everything. And right now we'll go to the next question. I know Mr. Ishola is so ready for us, as we just given the question, not even resting at all, giving us back the answer is ready. Now, okay, to the next question, sir. What are the
Yes, sir.
okay? I think we've done that. Yeah, it says, how do chemical fertilizers and pesticides affect soil health, and what alternative can be used to minimize their impact? What alternative can be used to minimize
Okay.
their impact? How do chemical fertilizer and pesticides affect our soil health? Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. Effect of these chemical fertilizers on soil health is that number one is that you lower the soil pH. And when you lower the soil pH, you are increasing acidity of the soil. You are making the soil to be more acidic and affecting the nutrient availability of the soil. You have what we call fixation in the soil. And apart from that, you are disrupting the microbial activities by the time you are applying the chemical fertilizers on the soil. So, I always relate some things to human being. Soil is like human being. And if you are, when we are small, when we are being taught the characteristics of human being, when we are being taught Mr. Najadi, Mr. Najadi, the nutrition, and then down to death. By the time your soil is no longer productive, it means that that soil is dead. You know, Yoruba will say, "Kàkà kílẹ̀ kú, ilẹ̀ ayé àṣà ni." When that ilẹ̀ ṣá, it means that the soil is dead because it's no
Okay.
longer productive anymore. And in class, most of the time, I tell my students, now, a soil is fertile and not being productive. What could have been the reason? Can a soil be fertile and not being productive? There are a lot of things that will make it not to be productive. Now, organic matter depletion is also a problem. And then runoff and pollution, because excess fertilizer can leach into the water bodies, and then this is pollution, in which is very,
Okay.
very, very, very important. We need to look at now. What are the alternatives to minimize this impact? Number one is organic fertilizer. Now I've discussed about it by adding compost, poultry manure, cow dung, and so on, and then green manure. Green manuring is very important because the benefit of it is to improve the soil structure and then to enhance the microbial activity, because when these microbial activities are not there, the organic matter may not be increased, and then they provide the balance of nutrient supply. They balance the nutrient supply. And then integrated nutrient management, crop rotation, because they help in nutrient balance, and then they reduce the need for chemical fertilizer by improving the soil health naturally without any artificial application or synthetic application of fertilizer. So biological pest control is also very important. And then planting resistant varieties is very, very important. Resistant varieties is very important because you choose the pest resistant crop varieties in order to reduce the need of chemical pesticides. So, and then cover cropping, mulching, soil testing, they are very, very important. Education and training is very important because
Right. See now, you
okay,
are back. Yes, sir.
okay, yes, sir. So,
So
mulching,
can we go
cover
to the next
cropping,
question? Okay.
plant, yes, sir, yes, sir. Plant resistant varieties, they are very important, and then educating and training farmers.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. All those you have mentioned will actually help us reduce the use of synthetic or chemical fertilizer and pesticide, going for organic and bio fertilizer, um, going for bio organic pesticides, and even planting resistant crops. So we know those plants, they can actually defend themselves against those pests, and that will actually help us cut down on the amount of synthetic and chemical pesticide and fertilizer we tend to use. So to the next question, sir. Thank you. Can you explain the role of, okay, yeah, we've been mentioning it. Can you explain the role of soil microorganism in that is soil microbes in soil health and productivity? Can you explain the role of soil microorganism in soil health and productivity? How can farmers promote beneficial microbial activity? Help us explain the role, their role in the soil, in soil health, and how can farmers tend to promote the beneficial microbial activities, sir?
Okay, their first role is that they help in nutrient cycling. The role of my soil microorganisms in soil health and productivity. So they help in nutrient cycling. Now, what do I mean by that is that they decompose organic matter and then they release essential nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur for plant uptake. So they help in improving the soil structure also. That by so doing that, they improve the aeration, the air, and water retention. Now, for our farmers, maybe you do not understand what I mean by aeration. Let me try as much as possible to explain something in that aspect. Now, in a situation whereby you know when it comes to an ideal soil, we have the 45% minerals or elements, we have the 25% water, we have the 25% air, and then we have the 5% organic matter. Reason why you cannot go and plant maize inside a waterlogged area, because of what? The maize will not survive, because there's no exchange between the atmosphere and the roots of the plant. So that is what I mean by saying that aeration, aeration since morning. So organic matter decomposition, they help to break down the complex organic materials in the soil. It is from the organic materials that the organic that decomposes and then become organic matter. So which they enhance the soil fertility in the soil. Now, another one is biological pest control. The beneficial microorganisms can suppress the soil-borne pathogens and pests, reducing the needs for chemical pesticides. And then carbon sequestration. To sequestrate carbon in the soil, mitigating the climate change effect. Now, how can farmers can promote beneficial? Number one is, again, go for first down on the organic amendments. And when we talk about organic amendment, the compost, their poultry manure, all the manures, and then they boost the microbial populations in the soil. Now, uh, another one is what? By reducing the tillage.
Oh, he's gone. I think the network at his end is not too good. So yeah, I'm hoping to have him back. Have him back soon. Hoping to have him back soon. Hoping to have him join us back shortly. It's been a an impactful section with our guest right from the beginning up to this moment. And I sure do know you are enjoying it just as I'm also enjoying, because I'm actually learning. I'm actually learning. When the essence of actually bringing experts on board, most especially experts at a particular field, like at the field, actually it makes you get an in-depth knowledge of the discussion of the that is the subject of discussion. You're not just bringing we didn't just bring a general, maybe agronomist, or we brought in a soil scientist, also practitioner in the field, uh, to 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 bring us the knowledge from that field. That is why we're having an in-depth knowledge this moment on this discussion. Yeah, we just have him off. I know shortly he's gonna be back with us. Shortly he's gonna be back with us. So he's gonna be back with us. While we wait, you can just you drop your questions. Apart from the questions we've been asking him, maybe you've got some special questions. You've got some questions relating to your experience on the field, like, or the experience on your farm. You've got maybe a problem you're experiencing on your farm you will want him to address. You can just drop the the you can drop it in form of call. You can drop it in the comment section, and then it's gonna be attended to. That it cannot be attended to in this video. Subsequent video, we're going to attend to it. So you stay tuned to the channel, and then we can also attend to that question as a response or reply to your comments in the comment section. So while we ex- while we hoping that it comes back soon, while we expecting him to come back soon, so we have some of the questions we still have on ground, we can have answers to them. So uh, you can just do that. Still telling you about agro optimizer. Basically, what we do, we go to a great extent. We go to whatsoever extent is going to take us to actually bring the best for you, to actually get you educated, to actually bring resources across to you, to get resources across to you. What that is what we do basically. Help farmers improve their productivity and profit. We help them improve their productivity and profits. We bridge the knowledge gap. The tech will bring the technology across to you. We do farm mechanization. we do farm digitalization. I bring all these tools across to you, crop health monitoring, even the implements to work with the machines, uh, the technological machines, drones, the tractors, the various tools and tractor pulled tools and get your work done. We also come with experts to on your feet to check out things we've got, and then we also do we also do farm management. Like you actually need experts to manage your farm with you or to work with you on your farm. We actually give that. We train people. We impart knowledge into them. We send them to you to help you on your feed with that knowledge. We do a whole lot. All you just need is to get across to us at Agro Optimizer. Once you get across to us at Agro Optimizer, let us know what you experience. Let us know what you want to achieve, and then we tell you, we help you with how to achieve it and the best way to go with it. And then you'll see that in our partnership, partnershiping with us, you get the best. You get the best.